Howdy doody, people. Welcome to the show. My guests today, two of my favorite people. I love having conversations with the two of these people, and I'll just give you a quick introduction. One of them, my brother, Alex Bigio, great musician, and the other, David Marle, really good friend of ours. We always have a lot of fun when we're together. Decided to put a few mics in front of everybody, and that's the show for today. Hope you enjoy it. First show at the Criativa.
Yeah.
Here we are. Maggie, you going to do the advertising?
The advertising this night is sponsored by Crystal Blue Sky Water. Just like normal water, but from the sky. And it's bottled by the Inuits. The Inuits bottle the water and they send it over, and they're having because of global warming, it's a big problem there, so they need financial support, so they created this great glacial sky water.
There's too much water.
They have too much water. We need to help them.
Way too much water.
It's
the ice
true.
caps are melting.
Yeah. Because, it's all going to go in the oceans and it's going to rise, so they're trying to prevent that as well, that the ocean levels will stay the same. And it will save us all. So buy the sky water.
Help the oceans. Drink more ice water. Sky water?
Sky water.
Sky water.
Yeah, like ice water, but it comes from the sky.
And the Inuits.
Comes from the sky. Great. So that's the sponsor?
That's the sponsor.
One of them.
It's one of the many, but it's the one I thought that was the best one to bring up because they have a cause that you can really get behind.
True. Save the Inuits.
Yourself.
It's saving yourself. That's why it's the best promotion. It's because it's entirely self-centered and egotistical. It's like be selfish but save the planet at the same time.
If you don't buy that water, the Inuits don't capture it, and it goes into the ocean, and the ocean level rises. And then,
Sounds like a great plan.
Sounds like a great Michael Bay movie.
The Inuits could just build a wall. Keep the water out!
Water.
Isn't that kind of what Holland did?
Yeah, pretty much, right?
That's what they did.
It's been working out for them.
So far,
yeah.
How come no one's bombed that wall yet?
They have. They did in World War II. They blew a lot of the dikes, and it turned the whole thing into a big problem.
Seriously?
Turned it into swampland, traversing Holland, or whatever
Bring the mic
portion
up
of
to your
Holland.
face.
Traversing Holland, or whatever the hell portion it was of Holland, was a huge problem because of that. It was all flooded and turned to swamp.
Okay.
Yeah, for a long time, and then they rebuilt.
I didn't know they'd actually gone and bombed it.
They did.
Not,
Strategic point.
Yeah, not a big enough hole. I thought the whole country would be underwater.
No, I think that's because of the illusion that I also had, that we are imagining something like a dam, a huge dam keeping all the ocean away from the Netherlands.
Yes.
It is not so much that as many very, very small dams all over the place distributing, all the pressure. So if one or two breaks, water is going to start coming in and flooding, but it's not like a dam breaking and destroying the entire country.
Yeah.
Michael Bay style.
Yeah.
It's not that's going to happen, hopefully.
Yeah, no Michael Bay
But
movie.
that doesn't sell sky water.
No, that does not.
We have one. Yes.
The trigger.
Oh, this is too perfect.
Sound effects and all.
They're gonna be used.
Do you know what they all do, or are you just gonna try?
We'll see.
That was a quick commercial break. We're back. Hey! And now we're on Big Bang Theory. This is the set.
Those samples of people clapping and laughing they use in sitcoms.
Yeah.
I wonder how many different samples they're using. What I mean is, would you recognize the same laugh track from one sitcom and another sitcom? Are they using the same laughs and the same, samples? or is it all new?
Kind of like
to keep it fresh?
what was it? The Wilhelm scream, right?
Exactly.
That kind of scenario.
It's probably the same.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it could make sense, or maybe they caught on to that and they're like, well, at least let's record someone laughing once, and then we can pretend that it's happening. Like maybe the question is, are they using the same? Are they using the same laugh track on the first season as on the 9th season, though, so that it feels like it's still the same show?
I would imagine they wouldn't. Right.
But maybe they do, so that it feels like it's still the same show. Like nothing has changed. It still feels. That's why you love it so much.
With you are the same.
Go look at the guest list for the laughter, and let's see if there's like credits. And those guys are living off of Friends royalties. They have like mansions.
I was the main mad lady laugher on
like,
Friends.
On that episode where Joey said Joey doesn't share food, I was the.
Yeah. No, but I imagine that nowadays, wouldn't it be like an algorithm, mixing laughs and whatever to keep it fresh, to always keep it new so that you would never see the difference? Wouldn't that be optimizing?
Yeah, like a robot laugh. A robot laughing machine.
Not a
just
it
a
laughs
robot.
like
It
us. It randomizes our laugh.
Yeah, it uses samples and
to create something that always feels different and fresh.
I'm sure there is. There's the machines that the music has nowadays. I have drummers, like virtual drummers. I'll just set the tempo for a track. So I'll say that this is the speed of it.
Yeah.
And then I'll choose the drummer, and they even put it by name. So it's like Chad, and then underneath it has Punk. And then it's got a little pad where I go fast, slow, complex, and simple, and it builds the whole drum line. And then I say, I want fills, and it's got a little slider that says fills. So actually, I play like 4 chords, the most basic 4 chords, and then I press a button. I have John Bonham there, in like 3 seconds, the computer's done it. It's like,
Yeah.
Well.
So there's a laugh track software on your computer, and you can select the audience members and how they laugh with what intensity.
Exactly. Shocked laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was naughty.
I don't know, but it takes away from it. Like the Tonight Shows, all that stuff is still filmed in front of a live audience.
Is it?
Yeah, there's people there. You can see them.
Yeah.
Are they really?
I think they are.
Well, they're not holograms. They're people.
There's a big sign that shows up in bright lights that says "Applause, you sheep."
Yes, there is a sign. There is a sign.
At the same time, it is still a good show. Like, I'm watching it at home and I'm laughing, so I wouldn't be surprised to be on the set with all the lights and with the people there and the jokes happening, that you kind of swept up in it as well, right?
I guess, yeah.
I'm not saying it's as hysterical as all that. I think that's kind of the weird thing that all the actors talk about when they say that it's weird when you walk onto those things, because the lights are on you and you've got, I don't know how many people just staring at you and laughing at everything you say. There's a really cool Anthony Hopkins interview about it, where he's on that show and he's just freaking out at the audience, like, you're just laughing at anything I'm saying. I'm not. It's just confusing.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of those celebrities that they just walk out onto the stage and they don't even have to say anything.
Yeah.
And just them being there is like,
But that's why it's the celebrity, or like the dream to go on those shows, because it's immediate validation for no reason. You just stand out. Like, I'm sure if accidentally a grip hand or someone stands out on the stage, like he falls over or something, people will clap and go, "Yay!" If they give him an intro and a drum roll, and now, Terry Williams. Nobody knows who this guy is, but now he's on television, late night TV's a star.
So it's just being on that stage.
Just being there in those lights, because everybody's looking like, if I were there.
I think those people that everybody loves, as you were saying, that, they're on stage, doesn't matter what they say, what they do, everyone loves them, is either because they've achieved a certain iconic status, like the old school actors, De Niro, Pacino, whoever. It's like,
or Sean Connery,
whatever. These people go
Peter
up on stage,
O'Toole was the best
say
guy.
whatever, whatever, and it's just, they're still alive and they're so awesome,
Yeah.
That's one level. The other is the more pop of the moment star, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're really, really popular, like Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, The Rock.
Right? The Rock.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very popular. Oh, he just does whatever he wants. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And people will go crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. Eventually, that's just, Robin Williams, or actually Leno was talking about it on the Joe podcast the other day, or like, I don't know, years ago. Anyway, he was talking about it when he was saying that when Robin Williams got to the height of his fame, that he went to see him at a show, and Robin supposedly told him, listen to the set tonight. So he paid attention, watched from backstage, and he came out and he asked him, so how'd you think it was? And he's like, yeah, it was okay.
Meh.
He's like, yeah, I can't tell anymore. Anything that I go up on that stage and say, they immediately laugh. They just laugh at anything. I can't even tell if what I'm saying is any good or not.
Yeah.
So... yeah,
it's funny. The funny problems of success that we never,
right?
consider.
People love me too much.
Yeah, exactly. People love me too much. I don't even know when it's true and it isn't. Yeah,
it's always true.
But that's why it's artists are always looking for that extra validation. It's the literal prima donnas. We want to walk around and have everybody go, yes, he's here, he's here,
he exists.
Look at him.
Applaud
yes,
his presence.
Thank you. I am deeply indebted to you, sir, for no reason, but I love you. You need that, or doesn't that happen to you every day? Don't you have people walk up to you constantly and
applaud you?
No?
Oh, yes, of course.
Applaud you as you walk by.
Especially with
how
the face.
How can you live?
Yeah.
How are you still alive?
Yes.
Everybody needs a little applause as you walk through the airport.
Yeah.
I was going to ask something, but it's going to be redundant because you're a musician, so it doesn't matter for you. But, when is the last time a normal person who is not a musician and goes on live gigs, get applause for? When? When was the last time you did something and people applauded it? It's not a common thing. It's rare.
You did a wedding.
I hosted a wedding. Yeah, people.
Yeah.
I was in my bathrobe.
Well,
but all right,
Jedi wedding? Is it a Jedi wedding?
No. Dudism.
Oh, the dude.
Dudism.
You're in a Krusty the Clown,
that.
a Krusty the Clown robe.
Right.
Yeah.
And they applauded. There you go.
They applauded.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. See, I can't live without that.
No.
How do you hold on?
I get that once in a while when weird
when
people
you land.
clap and you land. Well, you land and they clap, more in that order.
Do you get that?
Yeah, it still happens, even on private.
I
jets,
like
it. Still
it.
happens.
Yeah, only on private. Yeah, they.
No. I think that happens a lot more. No,
On
it
commercial.
definitely happens a lot more on commercial.
In the States.
Because, they're carrying a lot more people. There's more chance there's going to be a group of people that never flew before or, that are really excited that they made it.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen less in business jets.
Yeah.
But it still does. It still does. So, yeah.
Do you feel proud? When you land and everybody claps, it's like...
to be honest, I don't like it. I understand why it happens, and I don't like it for one reason. Is I think the passenger, who has no experience in flying an airplane, is somehow judging your landing based on zero knowledge and criteria other than we made it here and this felt good enough. Right?
That's literally it. They're really happy that the metal box that was magically flying through the sky is now on the floor and they haven't erupted in a ball of fire. I think that's why I love clapping.
Applause.
It's like, you know what? You guys do a much better job than what you get credit for. There you go.
But you'll understand this because you must have felt this on stage at one point or another, which is the passenger might be clapping and happy, right? But I might have a completely different view on what my landing and my performance on that landing was, as you might have a perfectly different view on what your performance on stage was.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the audience might be clapping, but in some way, it's actually pissing me off because I don't agree with why they're clapping. What are you doing with your microphone?
You don't agree with why they're clapping.
No.
So these people are clapping at you and you're going, fuck off.
No,
I don't agree with what you're doing. It wasn't good enough.
Exactly. There you go. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean.
I do. I agree with you, though. I get it.
People don't know enough to understand that it sucked.
Yeah.
But it did. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
it's not
true.
their fault.
It's true. It's true. There are those nights where everybody's waking up and saying you were amazing and it was great, and you're like, it wasn't though. It really wasn't.
There you go. Because only you can spot those.
Yeah, and you can't really tell if they're just being nice, like, oh, great job, that was really good, or if they really believe it, because they it's like. I don't think they can tell these little differences that you notice, right?
It doesn't matter. In the end, you were saying you're an applause whore, right? So it doesn't matter. Whichever shape or form it comes, right?
No. Applause needs to be for the right reason.
For a long time, I would have said I would have defended the grunge way of thinking. It's like, I don't care about that, man. But then I took a look at my life, and it's like I literally forced myself to go on stage everywhere around people and like blast music at them for 3 hours and make it all about me. And then want applause. If I don't get applause, it was a bad day. It's like, can you believe it? They sat there and did nothing in my presence. I failed.
You can't set the bar too high. You can't expect them to be fainting and throwing lingerie and stuff like that.
Why not? I saw it on TV once. I think that's normal. It's not that much to ask.
What are you doing with your mic?
I'm trying to adjust the position.
10 minutes ago, he said he was an engineer. We should trust him. He's
still
fiddling with the mic and straddling the other part of the mic.
Fiddling? He's broken his mic stand. He pulled it off the table.
I stand by my previous statement.
You're an engineer.
This costs a lot of money from the taxpayers. Put it back together.
Well, from the few engineers that I do know, they do break shit a lot before they fix it again, so I guess.
Yeah.
Just sitting with the mic in your lap.
Oh, right. I've been doing it the wrong way. Now it makes sense. There we go. All back on track. Did you know that if you just lean the microphone against this side as well, it usually works?
Were you unscrewing it instead of screwing it in?
Over here.
Is that what you were doing?
You can hear it. This is how talk boxes work. You don't always die from tobacco.
You're trying to divert attention from the fact that what you were doing is unscrewing it instead of screwing it in.
You know what the worst is? I still don't know if I'm screwing it in anymore.
Okay, I believe the way it goes, and I learned this from the 70s show, is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So, there you go.
You'd think, but I swear to God, this thing defies the laws of physics. Halfway through it switches. It's like like a weird Rubik's Cube stand.
And this is what an engineer says of a screw.
I'm not coming off too great in this, am I?
Rubik's Cube.
No, this is clearly the fault of the engineer that built this screw. He was not a good engineer.
No. Yes.
Right, all right, we're getting somewhere.
And who was it? Was it Archimedes? Isn't it called the Archimedes Screw?
I don't think he built these, no. These are from Rhodes.
Not these.
Was it him who came up with the screw?
I believe it was called the Archimedes Screw.
Not the screw. The Archimedes Screw was how to pass water up from one level to the other by just rotating the screw shape.
With this shape. But this shape, I believe it was Archimedes that came up with this shape that we use in the screw, this form of spiral.
Yeah, so that it pushes the water out, the wood out when you're screwing it in or whatever debris.
Exactly. This shape, I'm saying Archimedes, all of a sudden it's going to be someone else. But that someone else is his screw, and it's known as his screw.
I think you're right. I think it is Archimedes.
I don't know, because wasn't Archimedes also the one that with the lever?
He had a lot of inventions.
Yeah.
He wasn't just the one thing. It's like, the dude that did Archimedes Screw.
But you know what I mean, right? Give me a lever and I'll move a mountain or the world or something. The idea being that,
was that him?
Leverage.
Maybe. I think so. I don't
know. Because I'm also associating that with Archimedes, but it might not have been.
If only we had the power of the internet.
Yeah, right. If only we did. But we don't.
Don't you have the power of the internet on you?
I do.
At all, the power of the internet is with me always.
There you go.
And may it be with you.
Yes. Some fact checking.
Wi-Fi aqui, usamos quatro.
Podes usar o Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
E agora vais ter que dizer a password do Wi-Fi sem ficar gravado no podcast. That is a safety issue.
We might have to change
A
this.
gente para aqui para a volta do estúdio para roubar Wi-Fi. Temos Wi-Fi à volta daquele estúdio.
Vamos fazer aqui lembrete, menos muda a palavra passe do Wi-Fi.
Não, temos uma guest, é tranquilo.
Encrypted messages.
Encrypted messages.
Yeah. Vão ser os polícias ali fora.
I have a question about that though. How successful were the
You're connected.
encrypted messages? Like, I'm not saying like when the Nazis or even in that century, like in the 1700s. An encrypted message. English by then was already an encrypted language for most people.
For most people,
and you're sending a code message to somebody that's probably never seen a piece of paper before. And it's like the rose buds 3 times. It's like,
Well, I would expect that if you're sending a message to someone, it's someone that will be able to decode the message and not just some random peasant that will receive a message. He doesn't know is a message.
I'm sorry, what dark ages are you in? I mean, you didn't have these qualified people just lying about. Half of Europe was dead.
Yeah,
You might have had them at one
1700 years
point.
ago. There were a few
Yeah, that's true.
monks and noblemen and people who could
Coding
read.
in the
and-
1700s,
Yeah, but how much-
people needed to know how to read.
But look at this. Let's
No,
say,
but they coded.
let's
They coded
say,
way back before that. One of the very famous and cool coding devices.
the
that
codex.
No, but it's a much simpler thing that you could do, and they probably would teach Boy Scouts and whatever, because it's really basic. You take any stick the size of like a broomstick or whatever. What you're going to do is you're going to write a whole bunch of message on a long piece of tissue, right? A whole bunch of stuff. And then you're going to roll it up in a spiral around this stick. And the real message you want to get to the other side, okay? You're going to write it while it's rolled on this stick, around the stick. What happens is the other person on the other side is going to have a stick with a similar diameter and size and whatever. It's going to unfold it the same way and can read the real message. The other person will just read like a letter jumble with a real message in there somewhere.
So they need the same size stick.
They need to agree on which type of size stick they're using, right? Right.
now this is a whole other problem.
Yes.
Boy Scouts debating the size of their sticks.
Didn't something just happen with the Boy Scouts? Didn't the Boy Scouts of America just declare bankruptcy today?
Yeah, because of being sued for pedophilia.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Sued
child
for
abuse.
A whole
Playing
bunch
with
of
sticks.
child abuse.
Playing with sticks. We need to find the right size. How can we know if we don't see them all?
Try them all.
Yep.
Your Boy Scouts sound a bit German there.
Well,
He was in the German Boy Scouts.
There we go. That explains it.
that was a very brief stint, though. I wasn't German Boy Scout material.
You were in the German
but
Boy Scouts?
for a week.
Where? In Germany?
Yeah, in
He
Germany.
gave up.
Yeah.
He had to shit in a hole. They were camping and they dug a big hole.
That was your final drop? You had to shit in a hole?
No, but it's the funniest version of it, though.
Okay, good.
No, they were really cool. I was impressed by what they could do because we got there the first day and I'd never done anything with Boy Scout related, right? And we get there and there's a pile of sticks and some canvas and some rope. And they're like, right, build your houses. And we're 11 and 12 years old and like children. And some of them are 8 and 9 and they're there. And they just pull out these massive pocket knives and get to work. And by the end of the day, we had like a 2-story building with a functioning kitchen and a sleeping area. The dining area was above. So you'd actually climb onto it and sit overhanging the kitchen. And you had like levers to bring the pots
these were
and
clearly
pans.
the German Boy Scouts.
Right?
Yes.
Well, they sang a lot about the Vaterland, so there was some
march?
similarity. Yes,
You marched.
Well, we woke up. We'd wake up every morning at maybe 5, and then you'd have to run straight out of bed, wake up to the sound of like a trumpet or whatever. Out of bed, start running, and then you do a whole exercise routine, which ended in church, which was like an hour mass. And then after that, you could go back and you'd have breakfast. And then, and then the rest of the day would be activities of like...
Fondling each other.
Playing with sticks.
Well,
Exactly.
I was going to say canvassing the area, but you've made that a bit.
Canvassing the area.
The terrain.
The terrain.
Oh, man. Yeah, okay. And the uniform? The uniform, was it what I imagine Boy Scouts are, or the German one is more...
I don't remember using a uniform. So
Really?
I don't know if it wasn't mandatory, or if it was and I didn't use one, or if I used one and I just blocked it out.
Okay.
But I don't
Right.
think uniforms and I don't have a good history together. So I doubt I was wearing like a uniform.
Okay. Because German Boy Scouts, I was imagining, I don't know.
Yeah.
Lederhosen and whatever.
No, that
No?
would have been great.
Right.
That would have been awesome. No, I think it was. I just took trousers and trunks. I was prepared for it. My mother took me shopping before we went, and she got me all the camping gear and everything. And it's actually I'm amazed at how independent they let you be there, because they give you axes and shit, and you're allowed to go chop things. Like my cousin was there the year before, and he's 2 years younger than me. And when he went there, he just grabbed the axe and went off into the woods and started just whacking at shit. And they're like building their house and doing activities. Like, Bruno, stop, you can't be doing that. And he's just in his own world. And they love him for it. He was like a legend when I went there.
He's a real wild man.
Yeah, because they're, the strict rules. They're like doing what you're supposed to and making the most effective house, because there's a point system and all of this. And then you've got...
Obviously, you're building a house. There has to be some... structure to it.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got one of your teammates is out whacking weeds and trees with an axe, and it's like a 9-year-old kid, and yet there's no concern. It's like, you can do that.
Yeah, but that's cool, because...
Of course. I love it.
If you're a kid and you learn this shit from a young age, right? There's no problem. You're used to it.
Yeah.
This is how it used to be done.
Well,
right? So it's fine.
If you know what it is, then it's not a mystery anymore. You learn how to handle it, and you understand, right, this is sharp, this is heavy, this is what it weighs, I can't pick it up, I can't do this.
Although swinging at stuff like weeds and whatever is the first thing you're going to do.
Of course.
And I'm not so sure that's such a childish thing. I think if you're a grown-up and you haven't done it, and they give you this sword, that's what you're still going to do if you're a 40-year-old man.
Oh, trust me.
I'm
I know.
pretty sure,
I
yes.
know. Yeah, actually, yeah. Pedro Freire lent me his sword from the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you act at stuff with that?
Of course. How can you have that sword?
If I don't see Pedro Ferreira, let it be said here. That is an awesome, awesome, awesome replica sword.
Right?
Beautiful.
It
beautiful
is
thing.
Insane. It's
Insane.
Awesome. And how can you have that in your living room? And you walk in, and it's any corner you put it in, it immediately looks like a magically placed quest item that's just perfectly lit.
Yeah, it does.
Any angle that you walk in, it's like
an artifact.
Yeah. So of course you get there in the morning and whoosh, and immediately you're possessed by the power.
You wake up in the morning and you pull out your sword.
Of course. I unsheathe my blade.
But you do feel powerful holding a big sword, don't you?
Of course.
Yes, right?
That's why I would take it around town with me if it weren't such an inconvenience.
I feel powerful holding a kitchen knife.
True,
Just
very
a
true.
big chopping
Yes.
knife.
That I just feel psychopathic. The kitchen knife
walking into the
is a bit of
shower.
a different vibe. It's like I'm going to murder someone.
The psycho scene and and all the
There you go.
slasher movies made that happen. It's always the kitchen knife they use. So
Exactly.
it gave it that,
I don't think the kitchen knife is very fun for killing, though. Like, it's really smooth to go in.
Well, if you're killing for fun, then no. Then the kitchen
Why else
knife.
would you do it?
Hang on, let's
I don't
revert to the
understand.
expert in these matters. David, please tell us what killing for fun is like.
Well, here's the thing: if you're killing, he's the one who suggested that it was too easy with a kitchen knife. And yeah, you're right. It's going to do small punctures that go in and out really easily.
Like, if you're angry and you want to damage someone,
If you want to damage, you want a serrated Rambo insane knife.
You want a hammer, or I watched the
hammer.
the Tarantino movie. Brad Pitt throws a can into
Yes.
the girl's face. That scene.
Oh,
is
that can
fucking
scene. It's the
epic.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood scene.
Yeah.
Best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
That can in the face was
That is
so unexpected.
It is. But the truth is, a can in the face thrown properly by a guy with a good pitching arm like he has, you're done. You're knocked out.
You need to be a guy like him.
Well,
Have
it
a girl
depends.
throw a can at your face.
If a girl threw a can at your face, or me for that matter, I might not hit your face. So that is the issue with throwing,
aim aside.
And it'll be
Aim
like
aside,
someone.
yes.
It'll be like someone dropped a can on you. It's like,
But think about it,
in the face.
a
in the
can
even
is
if it's in
usually
the face, it's just like what the
a
hell?
1 kilogram can, right? 1
Yeah.
kilo of beans or whatever.
Yeah, that's
right?
a heavy can.
That's a heavy can.
Yeah.
I'm saying because that's the size the can looks in the movie.
Oh no, that can would have been like 250 grams or something
The
like
one
that.
you threw?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
It looks
small.
like a small can of dog food. It's like a 1 kilo can of beans is like a big
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. That's the size I was thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the one he
So
throws
he
is
threw
like a
smaller.
little, because he has it like in his hand and he's just playing
Right.
around with it and he just goes, bah, like a can of, just like a
It
can
was
of
dog
corn
food.
or a can
Well,
of
in any case,
sausages
it
or
was.
what
I
are
was talking
those?
the can
He
of
was feeding his
small.
dog.
Yeah, but how much would you say? It's like a half
No,
a
it's
half
the
a
size of
kilo
a
or
750 maybe.
you think that much?
It was a big can.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's a big dog. It's a cool dog in that movie.
big fucking
Yeah. But we were talking about this yesterday, and by that scene, the amount of little details that trigger that are going on in your mind, like when they invade, you're thinking he smoked the acid cigarette. His dog
Right.
is trained to not do anything until he does
Yeah.
the thing. He's
Yeah.
tripping bulls. These guys are coming at him. They're gonna tear him apart, right? All these things are going through your mind, and yet it just
You're
erupts.
expecting it to go wrong.
Exactly.
You just have no clue how wrong it's
Yeah.
gonna go.
And it
That's
was-
the beauty of how Tarantino did it.
Yeah.
It's what's going on? Thank you very much.
must have a refill.
Yes. We
But
love free refills.
the way that you can tell that he's such an awesome movie maker is that you didn't really know that you knew those details until that last scene. Until then, there were just scenes in a movie like all other movies have,
Yeah.
but he brings them back to you so vividly before they even become relevant. Right, you're already worried about these things that you didn't even know were relevant to the movie.
You know what he did in that scene with the, if you remember the dog food can. There's a scene where he shows it really slowly with the dog food slurping out really slowly and
Into
then
the bowl, yeah.
into the bowl, right?
Yeah.
And you can perfectly see the brand, the name of the brand, and whatever. I was actually expecting it, since he loves tying things together, but obviously he's tying it with his universe and not the one I wanted. But I was expecting the can to be the can from Mad Max, the Winky D dog food. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Don't remember it.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was the dog food from Mad Max.
A lot of people would know what
And
I'm
a little
talking
bit of
about.
culture has just died here tonight.
But Mad Max, the original movies?
Yeah,
Mel
the ones
Gibson?
with Mel Gibson, yeah.
I think the only time I saw those, I was like 10 years old. I don't really remember.
Right.
I was with Johnny the other day, and I went to pick up my brother from school.
Yes.
And I've got the radio fixed so he can hook up his phone and stuff. And I said, put some music on that you like. So he started showing me all the rap and all the things that he's showing. Like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. And all of a sudden he turns to me and he says, do you know Eminem? I'm like,
I've heard of him.
what do you mean, do I know Eminem? Do you know Eminem? It's not how this, this is not how
Born
this-
when Eminem.
Exactly, you can't say that. Shit.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old asking me if I know Eminem.
Yeah, I mean, I think of myself as having a pretty alternative musical style, but I start to think that in Johnny's eyes, I'm like this classical music freak that's listening to Bach before you understood anything about it, you know?
This is when you stop that. You start showing him good music before it's too late.
Well,
because he's got his whole teenage years ahead of him, right? That's your formative years in terms of music.
Yeah.
I'm sure, right? It
Yeah,
makes
of course,
sense,
of course.
So you still have a lot of time. I'm not saying to change his taste, but to at least imprint some really good stuff that you know is good, right?
Yeah, of course.
In there, you know, give him a few clues.
I agree.
Some Nirvana, some whatever.
No
Yeah.
chance.
I think it's, no, but honestly, I think
No
it's time.
chance.
I think it's
I can
time
see him
again.
rocking out to jumping up and down. No, he seems
No.
like he has a lot of extra energy.
I think it's time that I try again because, to be honest, I tried once before when he was young, I was listening to Pink Floyd in my room.
Yeah.
And I had the vinyl player hooked up and everything. So he was coming up the stairs and he's like, "Oh, do you mind if I come and listen to music with you?" I'm like, "Of course, come on, sit down and sit next to me." So he sits down and we're listening to Echoes. And halfway through Echoes, there's those really creepy...
Yeah. Echoes has quite a few moments.
He got scared shitless and ran away because he's maybe 7 at this point. So
this is Johnny?
Johnny, yeah. So it was like, okay, I might have scarred him for life there. So I decided I'd give him a little bit more, but maybe it's time to show him the good stuff. Yeah, maybe.
A friend of mine just sent me a video the other day of her kid rocking out to Nirvana. So there you go.
Yeah, I think he knows Nirvana. I think that's hit him. Yeah, it's just like an awakening that happens at everybody at a different age where you find something you're really into. I think he's found it in hip-hop now. But I can tell that it's still, he's still going to really get into one eventually. There's going to be something.
I mean, all teenagers go through the, teenage angst phase and, not understanding the world or accepting or fitting in or whatever, right? So pretty much all teenagers at some point, there's a lot of accumulated rage, which in my case, I think, that's what Nirvana and all the grunge and metal bands helped with.
Yeah.
You had something to vent.
Exactly.
You listen to a couple of Metallica albums or Nirvana or whatever in your room, jumping up and down, and I'm not going to say trashing your room because your parents won't be too happy, but
well,
whatever.
He can trash it, but he's keeping it as it is afterwards. It's like, it's not my fault your bed's broken. Now you sleep on it. You shouldn't have broken it.
Yeah, I would have had
I
to
didn't
work
break
for the
your
whole summer
bed.
to pay for my bed again. So
What do you mean again? That is your bed. What again? You're not getting another bed. We gave you a bed. You broke it. Tough. You want a bed? You fix that one. You build it yourself again. Get another bed. What do you think? And the bed fairy is just going to come and give beds to people.
Yeah.
No. I had a bed that snapped in half at a certain point.
While you were sleeping on it.
Still stayed and slept on it.
Yes.
The side of the headboard broke. And so his head was basically on the floor and his feet were in the air. And he kept sleeping. I left in the morning and it was when it broke. I came back in the afternoon, he was still there. All the head.
Now, did it break because it was old or did it break because it was getting way too much use?
I think it was just crap.
It was, it was
just crap.
It was just old. It was an old bed.
I don't think we've ever had
It wasn't getting any use then. I was sharing a room with my brother and Susie at the time, and it was like my bed, and then my brother was on a mattress right next to mine, and Susie was on like an unfoldable couch at the base of both beds. And
what will one day be known on Wikipedia as the early years.
The early years.
Right?
Oh, yeah. No, those are the woe years. Woe had me.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Well,
I was in Etik, actually. Yeah, those were the early years. I was in Etik. I would have been in Scalibrated.
Your ska
looking back
punk
on that,
band.
that really was a terrible name.
Was it ska punk or just ska?
It was supposed to be ska, but by the end of it, it was going into reggae, like slow reggae.
Really?
And I had started off as the drummer, and I liked rock.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I was
then-
going to say, that's not the progress I would imagine
Exactly.
from you.
Well,
It's not
the thing is,
direction imagine.
I started off as a humble drummer, as a person that was happy to think, I'm just going to sit in the back.
I'll drum.
Exactly. I'll
Doesn't
drum.
matter what, I just
I
drum.
looked at Ringo and said, I get you. I understand it.
Right.
But then I said, I'll sing. Well, we didn't have a singer at the time. It was me, Sola, and Ricardo Almeida when it started, a friend of ours. We didn't have a singer at the time, so I said, right, I've got some ideas for what you're playing. I'll just sing until we get a singer. I'll play the drums in the meantime. And they liked me singing, so they said, look, we found a guy that's really good at the drums. Like, wow, thanks. So we're going to get him to play drums, but you can play bass because we need a bass player. And I'm like, I don't know anything about the bass, but I know a little bit of guitar.
Yeah.
I'll go into the bass. And eventually they came over and they said, right, we found a really good bass player, so now you're just the lead singer. I'm like, I got into this band, into this ska band, to be the drummer, and all of a sudden I'm the lead singer, and you can see videos of me then I'm just waving my arms around like an idiot because I don't know what they're supposed to be doing. It's the and
you could have kept your drumsticks as an homage to your previous position and just
Liam Gallagher.
I could
play the invisible
Well,
drums.
what I decided was, look, I'll get a guitar, and like that, at least I'm doing something. I don't even have to do much. It's at least let me pretend like I'm up to more than just standing here, because I have zero stage presence. It's not like I'm Eddie Vedder climbing the things and hanging from the ceiling. I'm a very static person.
Yes, you're more of an Eric Clapton kind
there
of
you
presence.
go. There
Yes.
you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Take too much heroin, puke on stage, and pass out.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like me. So
Well, you can't afford heroin yet, but you can puke on stage for free and pretend you have the heroin. You know, like people did in the 80s, pretending they had cell phones in their cars, and they would pretend because it was a status symbol. You do the same on stage. You puke, pretend you
I'm on
already
heroin.
have. Exactly. You
I'll
pretend
get
you're
it out of
already
the
so
way.
successful you're on heroin, and that will definitely create a vibe, and people will start talking about it. You know, they start talking. You got to watch this guy quickly because he might die soon. He's on heroin. You know,
And then people will probably come and give you heroin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on heroin.
You know
if
what?
you're a healthy
I'm gonna go
vegetarian,
party
they
with
know
him.
they can watch your show 50 years from now. You know, he's a vegetarian,
You know
he
what?
runs, he's healthy. We don't need to rush. We can watch him later.
I honestly have to thank you guys. I mean, I'd never considered getting into heroin before, but I mean, thank you. This really enlightened me and showed me the way. I mean, I can get free heroin now.
Well,
This
listen,
is great.
it's all about putting out good advice, right?
Yeah, I mean,
People know a little
Paying it
bit more
forward.
about the right knives to kill for fun, right? A little bit more about which drugs to use in order to get more fans.
yeah, that's,
There you go.
It's true. John Cleese's new tour, last tour before I die.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch it. I'm
How
scared.
ironic.
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry, but how ironic is it that it's his tour called Last Tour Before I Die, and we buy the tickets, and like a week later, one of them
Yep.
drops dead. And it's like, oh shit, maybe he's onto something. Maybe he knows.
It could happen.
Maybe he
It could
knows.
happen. But do you have the physical ticket?
I think so.
Because even if the whole thing, right? Let's hope it doesn't happen. But even if Cleese dies before you go and watch the show, you have the ticket for his last show that you never got
That he
to watch.
died
You know,
for.
you got a story around that ticket.
Right.
At least,
Right. I'd rather get my money.
You get it back.
really, you would get it back.
If John Cleese died and I had a ticket to
I would keep the ticket because the ticket with the story is more valuable to me than the 50 euros or whatever you paid for the for the show that you didn't watch.
All right, how much would you pay for the Michael Jackson tour tickets that he never got to do?
Not much because I don't care about Michael Jackson, but I do. I like his music, but I wouldn't.
How much would you pay for a used ticket? That used ticket, how much would you pay for it?
I wouldn't.
Let's say even if you would, it's a used ticket like $30 because there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
It's a sold out show and he's doing 4 nights and
Right.
several countries. So maybe you're going to
right.
get $5 out of this thing.
You're right,
It
you're
cost
right.
me
It's
$90.
Yeah.
I want my money back.
It's
man.
not the show John Cleese died and was canceled. It
Exactly.
was the whole tour. A lot of okay,
Exactly,
got it.
exactly. If it were the only show, or if like he died on stage. If he died on stage on my show, then
Stop
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah.
John Cleese is going to die.
I'm sorry.
I'm
He
getting
said
really
it
fucking
first.
upset here now.
he said it first.
No.
He said it first. I'm not saying anything.
None of us wants that. We all, right?
course
Unanimously
not.
love
No.
the man, right?
It'll
Yeah.
be a sad day.
It
A
will.
Sad,
It will be a sad,
day when
sad
John
day.
Cleese dies.
Exactly. And it was sad. It was sad just the other day when one of the Pythons died.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he wasn't John Cleese.
I know.
I'm
I
just
know,
saying
but
what
still.
everybody's thinking.
I know,
the
of course,
Python
of
died.
course.
Who? Not John Cleese. Okay.
Yeah, not John Cleese.
The other dude.
But the other dude you still associate with a few characters in
Yeah.
in
He's
Holy
Life of Brian,
Grail
wasn't
and
he?
Life of Brian. He was in all of them. But you know,
He's the mother in the life of Brian, isn't he?
Mother Brian.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. So yeah.
All of them, but that's the thing about the older generation, the people that we looked up to and
Yeah.
really admire in everything, in music, in acting, in comedy, they're all dying.
Yeah.
And what you'd expect to be replacing them would be this new generation of, awesome, or at least, you know what I mean, right?
I
And
know
we're
what you
being
mean.
left with like, oh, fuck, what? Charlie Chaplin wrote Smile. You know that song, right? So
Yeah.
independently of what he was in the movie business, he's then got that song that still you hear it nowadays and it resonates, right?
Yeah.
And there's this power in art that was always present, and now all of a sudden everything that's here, it's like, where the fuck did it go? So, but I think that the good thing is that these old guys are dying, because then mediocre people get to take the stage, and that makes my chances go up astronomically.
Oh, you're playing your numbers game.
Exactly.
Right.
See, now I don't have to be like a Charlie Chaplin or an Eddie Vedder. I can just be the meh guy. But who else is there?
Because all the good guys are dead.
Exactly. Can we go see Pearl
Right.
Jam? No. We can see this guy, though. And
No, we can't go, but we do have Layover. They like Pearl Jam.
A perfect evening. Exactly. They liked him.
They like Pearl Jam.
The band celebrating that Eddie Vedder's dead so that they can get on stage. We used to love him. We're much happier that he's dead now, though. We get to play his slot.
Don't say that. There's so many few left. Don't say
You're
that.
putting a very negative spin on all of this, because it could be seen as a silver lining, right? Instead of looking at the bad thing that this person is gone and we love them and now we're going to miss him and they won't make any good music, the silver lining is you have Layover.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
The passing of the
Exactly.
torch.
The passing
The
of
passing
the
of the
involuntary
torch.
passing of the torch.
It's
Well,
never
torch is
voluntary.
It isn't.
important.
It's
if you
true.
have the torch, you're dying with it.
Yeah.
You're clubbing people
Well,
away from you.
you're not going to die with a torch. Like, some guy's going to come and take it from you, but it's like you're an old feeble man on the ground. And
Yeah, you're
like,
gonna try to die
Man's
with
just
it.
going to come and, or even if you're normal, like right now, imagine if you had the torch, some guy's going to walk and take it, and you're just going to go, oh, I want that back. So you can't have it. Oh well, never again.
We've been passing torches around for a long time for some strange reason.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
right now, there's some guy around the world passing the fucking torch for Tokyo 2020.
Yeah.
Right now, right?
Yeah.
They do it,
That's right, yeah.
right? They keep running around the world and it passes from
Does it never
athlete
stop?
to athlete. I think it never stops. I never really understood if the Olympics end and the flame starts moving for 4 years until the next Olympics, or if the Olympics end, that flame is extinguished, and then a new one for the new Olympics is lit at some point, and then it starts moving. The thing is, I only start hearing about it about 1 year before the Olympics.
Yeah.
But that might be because that's only when they start reporting it
When
and
people are
people get
interested,
interested
yeah.
or whatever.
4 years.
So
4 years to go.
4 years to see these people move around. It's still going to be a huge honor for whoever the hell, gets to hold it, because not a lot of people do.
Well,
All right.
I wish I were the flame.
Less people do it than people can buy cabbage. Right?
But I'm
There's
sorry.
a lot more people that have access to cabbage to the Olympic torch. So,
no,
in
no,
some
but you
circles,
think
you got
that.
a huge story to tell.
You think that, but it isn't true. I'm sorry, but there are certain objects where I just don't get it anymore. Yeah, you'd get more impressed with this flame than with a cabbage,
okay,
right?
well, just for a second.
Everybody has fire. I have fire in my pocket,
I know,
right?
but
And if I pass you a lighter, there isn't a fucking ceremony with fireworks like, oh, he passed the flame.
No.
It's like, why not a cabbage? Maybe it would promote veganism.
Does that really need more promoting?
No, but
Isn't
it is time
like
for another plug for
so popular it's
Skywater.
mainstream now, isn't it? Veganism and eating kale and seaweeds and stuff.
I saw a news thingy about they were putting this thing. The article was about this vegan climber that decided she was going to climb Everest, and I think she died
That
of altitude
sounds-
sickness. Or something like that. It was some weird thing, or pneumonia, or it was some weird thing.
she just died.
Well,
People
it's
climb the mountains.
Everest.
Did anyone
It's
relate
Everest.
it? Yeah.
People
Of course, people
die.
die. Of course they do.
But yet, obviously, all the newspaper headlines were now, see, vegans can't climb Everest. Look at this vegan that
Well,
tried
you
to
see,
climb
that's the problem
and
with-
she died. And it's
Yeah.
like, that has nothing to do with it.
No, of course. Well. Okay, here's the thing. It might have. We just don't know. That's the whole point of the scientific method, which the journalists who reported this bullshit just wanted to make a story, right?
Yeah.
The scientific method would be, we're going to send like 10 different vegans up there, all at the same time, all in the same physical shape, and we're going to compare them to 10 non-vegans, all in the same conditions, right? And then you can start to say, okay, vegans are maybe weaker, because of whatever, or they're actually fucking stronger because they eat this way and they can deal with lack of oxygen or whoever the hell knows, you know. But what those journalists reported is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry.
Anyway, I've kind of hijacked the Pedro Bigio show, so
Right.
I'm gonna have a cigarette.
I was noticing that a while ago. The Pedro Bigio
I'm
show.
sorry.
There's no hijacking here.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You just want to go smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could take it in turns when he comes back in.
Yeah, sure. It's not a problem. I can hold it. I've heard it's not good for me.
Smoking.
Yeah. That was almost on cue. You did it on.
What have you done now?
I don't know what that did.
He's not done anything.
Oh, that's like a mysterious thriller.
Huh?
Laughter.
Clapping.
Applause. I don't know, magical spring, magical sprinkles of some sort. I don't know what that sound is, right? I think that sound is best
Magical
described
sprinkles is
as
right,
magical
yeah.
sprinkles.
These sound effects are fun.
Yeah, just don't overdo them or I'll hit you. It's going to start getting real old real soon.
Well, this is a talk show. I can do it every 30 seconds. Let's cut the
Yeah.
commercial.
I can go outside and smoke, and it'll be some sort of a stand-up monologue from Pedro Bigio.
I don't think I'm that strong yet. I don't think I could do a monologue.
Monologues are complicated.
No.
The truth is, monologues are not that complicated because the truth is, we end up doing them a lot with ourselves at home. They become complicated when you're doing for an audience. Doing it with yourself is rather easy. I guess I do it every day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, doing a monologue is really easy when you're angry. If you're angry, you
Right.
can rant.
Ranting, yes,
Yeah.
ranting. I'm not sure it's really easy for everyone, but it does come very easily to me. I usually try to hold it in. So, yeah, ranting. But it's very cathartic. It's it's like the music I was saying before. You let it out.
Yes,
It
yes.
feels better.
That's the thing. I don't think it is good for you to keep it in. Like, people need to hear it, and you
No.
need to let it out.
Okay, it's very simple. What is it good to keep in? Think, is there any situation where you should be trying to keep something in that makes it better for you?
Puking while driving.
But that's because it's going to make a mess of the car, but as soon as you puke, you'll feel better, right?
Well, you might
Quite frankly, if I absolutely had to, while driving, you just open the window and let it rip while you drive. Right? You, like a bit of stunt work with your head out the window, a bit of a Ace Ventura kind of thing going on there.
You don't even pull over. You just keep driving on.
You keep driving and keep going. And if it goes wrong and you have an accident, you went out in a kind of a bliss of glory.
Imagine if they found that car with you dead.
Puke all over the entire car. They're going to be wondering. They're going to be trying to investigate and figure out how is this person dead, but somehow the entire car has puke all over it. Oh, man.
A trail of puke on the road as well. They're like, okay, this is where the car lost control.
Yeah.
Spaghetti. He clearly had spaghetti for lunch.
They will know, right? When they do the autopsy, they always check out what you have for lunch, right? Yeah.
Never know if you can find a key in there or something. A hidden note.
Hidden note. Oh, that would be a good one. You kill yourself, but you swallow the suicide note before.
Right.
Just to see how thorough the coroner is.
You get a really shitty one. Nobody ever reads it.
Exactly. No one will ever know. Exactly. They won't even know you killed yourself.
You write your whole manifesto on the inside of your stomach. And then the coroner doesn't bother to check.
Nothing.
Like all that time.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I don't want to be doubting people here in their, their professionalism, but I think if people fuck up on their jobs while they're being watched and monitored constantly...
Hang on. Why did you say if?
No, I'm assuming it's a kind of rhetorical if.
Okay.
It's pretty much assumed.
Everybody does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everyone screws up and fucks up at their job in some way, and they're usually not alone. They're usually monitored. There's people around checking what they're doing. If you're the coroner and you're, opening corpses in the middle of the night alone, I'm guessing they're going to skip on some rules and some stuff, right? I'm guessing it's going to go, oh, nobody's watching. This guy's dead. Who cares, right? He's fine. He's fine. Let me play Candy Crush, eat my sandwich.
You probably don't have that guy like, oh, I really like doing autopsies, so even though that guy's done it, I'm going to do it too, just to double check.
I mean, I don't know. The thing is, with the people, is it coroners? They do autopsies, right? I think.
I don't know.
Médico legista in português? Anyway.
Probably, yeah.
That profession, the guys that do the autopsies, I have a tendency, but I'm sure it's for lack of knowledge of exactly how this goes, but I have a tendency to think that they are like the people that didn't get picked for the best jobs in medicine, didn't want to go for, more difficult things like brain surgery or something. Because if it's not that, and they're actually the people who are fascinated about desiccating corpses, like I was when I was a kid about being a pilot. Yeah. And it's like, this is what I really want to do. I always wanted to open people up and see what's inside and figure out how they died. It's a lot scarier than thinking that they're just the people who weren't good enough to do other kind of medicine. And I'm sure somewhere out there are some who are awesome, or a lot of them are awesome at it, and chose it for reasons that I don't understand or aren't socially acceptable.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
Right? Because
there's a lot of fingering going on there.
I mean, it's not something that must be easy to come to if that really is your thing. Imagine you're a parent.
Yeah.
And your kid is turning, 13 or whatever, starting to think about what the hell he wants to do, and he starts coming up with conversations, what I really want to do. What I'm really into is dissecting corpses. You want to encourage your kids, right? You want to go, okay.
Follow your dreams.
I'll
help you practice. There's a hobo down the road.
But you're going to be a little bit worried. I think.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So, yeah. This was completely pointless, but there you go.
Boobs without nipples are pointless. Only.
That is so good. That one is so silly, but so simple, and it always works.
The key is simplicity, always.
Yeah.
I think the key metric in my life to knowing whether it's still worth being alive is, do I still find my fart funny?
Okay.
As long as I can still laugh at my own fart, then I'm good.
When it comes to farts, I think, and I know we've had this conversation before at some point, I'm sure, but I think there's fart people and there's non-fart people. Clearly. And I can see how a fart can be funny. I can. But it's very rare, and it's a lot less times than you people think it's funny. I can see it as an almost masterstroke of genius if you have the balls to do it in an elevator full of people right before you leave. Then you have the crown, You'll get a medal for it. But usually... I'm not. No, I'm not there. Maybe also influenced by the fact that I can't really fart on command like you people seem to be able to. So it was never really my thing.
Not the type of guy to be alone on your couch and fart and just.
Not really, no.
That stinks.
Not really. Not really. But I end up not getting too bothered by it because I don't get most of the stink. I have a very, very inefficient sense of smell for some reason. And no, it would need to be something decomposing for me to notice.
It's decomposing.
And there have been farts that I have noticed. So when that happens, I know it must have been really
serious.
bad. Really bad. Yeah. Well, aren't we grown up talking about farts?
I think it's important.
Yeah, it is.
It's important to be able to still keep in touch with the simple things in life.
True. The simple things. This is how we got here. The simple things, right? Right. But it is. It is about the simple things. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Simplicity is the key, or at least it's the key I'm sticking to right now.
Yeah. But there is something to it. Like when you're that guy in the elevator and you just rip one out right before you leave everybody in the
when
cloud.
You can do that and just don't care, enjoy it, and feel no guilt whatsoever. You have certainly achieved some level of either some level
like
of
Buddhist shit.
Spiritual enlightenment or douchery, however.
Both.
But you've achieved some level for sure.
It's not arrogance; it's confidence.
Yeah, another fine line. There are plenty. Yeah.
You have to wait. Right, you get into the elevator in front of everybody else, and you wait until the door closes. And as soon as the door is closed, you can't press the door to open, then you let it rip.
Yeah. I've never done that. I don't think I ever will. I don't know. Yeah. Even just, that thing you see on sitcoms and whatever, where you're about to leave the elevator, the lift, and you go through all the numbers, just swipe 2 fingers down all of them.
Yeah.
And you light them all up and leave.
Yeah.
Right? Did you
that.
ever do that? You've done that?
Yeah, I've done that.
You've done that. And and did you look back to see reaction? Did you just walk away? Walk away in slow motion while everything blew up behind you?
No, usually it was when I was younger. But also here the buildings aren't that tall, so you don't really have.
True, you got four floors.
Oh yeah, I gotta stop twice.
You got 4 floors, and I think most of the elevators don't even do that, right?
No,
they don't have the memory to go through all the floors at the same time, like in a skyscraper.
Yeah, they only like shopping centers,
right? Fancy elevators.
Yeah. Not all elevators.
Right.
Speaking of Bruno's favorite place to fart is the escalator. You're going up the
It's going away from you. And their face is right at the right level. The escalator is a good place. The escalator is a pretty good place if you want to take revenge on the innocent.
Nobody is innocent when it comes to farts. Any place that you hang out where there's a lot of humans, it smells like shit.
You see, if you're an environmentalist, you'd be finding some way to hold it in. That's what you can do for your country.
Recycle.
Recycle, man. Recycle. The past 2 or 3 days, I've been reading a lot about recycling. For one, everyone's going nuts over plastic, right? But the thing that I read that really pissed me off was I saw a picture of one of these, someone sends you one of these pictures on WhatsApp or whatever, and it was a picture here in Portugal, right, of the garbage truck that picks up the recycled materials from those huge dumps. There are usually 3 of them, right, glass and paper and whatever. Yeah. Okay, so the truck is picking this up, and it's next to a building, and whoever was on the top floor could see the bus from above. The truck from above, right? You could see it, and it's open on top. Yeah, it is one container. Yeah. They're taking 3 things. They're not separating. They don't give a fuck. They're putting it all back together. This image really pissed me off. Right, I thought maybe it's doctored, maybe it's just a joke, maybe it was a one-case scenario where, the regular truck that has the, the visors inside or whatever is broken.
Yeah.
I go and look it up and start reading, and no, this is how it's mostly done.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. From what I've read, and I think I've been reading stuff that looks real.
Credible.
The sites aren't trying to sell me pills to enlarge my dick or whatever. So it looks slightly credible. And the thing is, it seems that most of this recycling collection they get it, they throw it in a dump. It's usually transported to a third world country where they are going to dispose of it the wrong way.
They either burn it or bury it.
There is a percentage that is actually being recycled, right?
Yeah.
But most of the countries in Europe, and certainly not the US, don't have the capacity to recycle the amount of material that is being, sent and separated. So what they end up doing is they will recycle this, which what I saw was like around 10% of what we're actually separating ourselves, and the rest just goes in a dumpster like it used to. So it is mostly about you feeling better about doing something when you're not actually doing anything, because your government is mostly just taking all this crap and sending it to China and Malaysia and the Philippines, and they are burying it or burning it anyway. And that is what usually pisses me off about most environmentalists, is they don't know this shit and they feel so happy. Oh, because I separate this shit. Yeah. Look it up. Figure out what makes a real difference, because what you're doing is only making yourself feel better, which is the selfish thing you were saying before. Okay. Time for my cigarette. You guys enjoy.
Yes. I'm back.
Commercial time.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome one of our most recent sponsors to the show. It is actually a brand new company coming directly from Kenya. It is the Life Straw. You may think it's the same thing that Bill Gates was giving, but it isn't really. It's just a field tracheotomy kit that you can sponsor for people in Kenya that need it urgently.
In case they need an urgent tracheotomy.
Exactly. And this is sterilized. It was overlooked and overseen by professionals in the tracheotomy area.
Professional engineers.
Exactly. All of the tubes from the tracheotomy kit are environmentally friendly, no plastic. It was very important. There are one of the issues was that there were splinters at the beginning because of the material that we were using, but eventually it's like, it's okay. It's just as long as you take care of the infection, it'll be fine. So we gave some. There's a little bit of alcohol in the tracheotomy kit. So yeah, the Kenyan company was Life Straw.
Life Straw. Clear water.
Yeah, so far these fantastic companies that are definitely changing the world for the better, I think.
Yeah, definitely for the better.
Yeah.
What's the lowest life expectancy? Is it Ethiopia, right? It's like 30 or 30. No, it's not that low. It can't be that low.
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's a tricky thing whenever it comes to life expectancies, because at least from my point of view, everywhere you go, you've at least got one fucker that's 80.
He's not 80, he's 30. He just looks 80.
He's the shaman, the wise man who has been alive for eons. He is 24. I don't know. I mean, it depends, but I would imagine, some of those countries it might get to, can we Google lowest life expectancy, country with the lowest life expectancy?
You can Google it.
I think I'm dropping things all the time, but anyway.
You can Google anything.
I'm going to try and Google it. Right, he gave me the Wi-Fi earlier on, and I forgot to actually use it for something. Life expectancy.
I think it's Ethiopia.
Let's see. Sierra Leone.
We are fighting for Sierra Leone.
As of 2017, people born in Sierra Leone could be expected to live only up to 52 years.
Shit, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
right?
It's not too bad. I mean, considering all things considered,
That's the average.
that's the average.
That means you got a whole bunch of
57.
70-year-old fuckers there.
Shit. Yeah. Well, but then again, what about those countries? Like, wasn't it in Norway or Iceland or something that they had countries where when an elder would reach a certain age, you just dropped him off in an iceberg, and it was like, you've had your time, now freeze. I don't know why, but
When you're not useful to the community anymore.
But the weird thing is the old men went along with it. It's like, yep, I understand. It's time.
I'm gonna sit here.
I think that the first guy that went there, or at least one of the guys that went there, eventually you would have dropped off a perfectly capable old man. It's like, I am not old, I'm still fine. I
Like
can
a
do
MacGyver
things.
old man.
Like, imagine if Bruno, if when Bruno was like 40, this tribe decides you are now too old
You're
to be
out.
you're out, and you drop him off where you consider to be the wilderness. And then all of a sudden he builds this like utopia, this paradise of engineering and marvel and technology. And so the old men are like, oh fuck, I'm living in a yurt. And when I'm 40, I get to graduate and go over to the promised land where this man has TV.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck this. Yes, please drop me off. But they don't let any of the young ones know, right? This is just an elder secret.
Yeah.
It's passed down from generation to generation with cell phones, because Bruno just threw one into the encampment afterwards.
Yeah.
After building a boat or something and just sailing past them, mooning them.
I think if I had the choice between a world full of only young people, or a world full of only old people, I'd pick the old people. I think I'm getting to that age where I
don't
start to
know.
understand.
I would say that, but then old people are really stuck in their ways, like in their mindsets. It's if you have an argument with an old man, like you're meeting this old man for the first time, if you have an argument about anything, his opinion on that will never, ever, ever, ever change, because he thinks he's about to die, so he's taking it to his grave because he thinks it's a week away.
This is who I am.
Right? This is
You're not
this.
changing
I will
me.
die on this hill. Right? While you're a kid, you don't give a shit. So eventually, you'll just agree so that it will end. Right? So too long with people, with old people, gets a bit confusing. But then again, too long with young people is not ideal either.
No.
Unless you pick the right. I mean, it's too much. Too long with anybody. I mean, shit, you're fucked.
Too long with people.
Too long with people, and you're kind of screwed.
Go and live on the mountain. Fuck this shit.
Maybe the people in the yurt are onto something after
Right?
all.
We're back in the year again.
Maybe we were in the promised land after all.
Screw civilization.
Oh, shit. We've been doing it all wrong, Pedro.
Just gotta go to the farm.
The farm. Yeah.
Live on a farm in a yurt.
Yeah.
And when people get too old to be useful, we kick them out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, though. Because we're setting up this magical paradise farm that kicks old people out. And by the time we're finished, we're probably too old to go to it.
No, we're king and queen. Royalty is different.
We'll
We're
lead
talking
as
about
two
peasants.
kings.
The workforce.
The workforce.
Can't be old and
The
useless.
workforce. We were talking about this earlier on. We were talking about John Travolta, and he has the airplane at his house, right? The 747. And we were just joking about the imagine if you're born into that, right? You're John Travolta's kid, but all your life you have a plane in your backyard, a giant second house that just takes you wherever you want to go. So to you, it's like, oh, we're going to Paris, and it's like, oh, fuck that, we're going to be there in 6 hours. It's okay, let's go. And we were just imagining like this staff that he might have, this extremely exquisite personnel that takes care, because we're going. He's not going shopping anymore, right? He's not leaving his house to go to the supermarket. He doesn't know how much milk costs. When we see the if he sees the advertisement on TV, 20% off of ribeye steak, now only $13.99. You don't know if that's a good deal or not. It's like what we're talking about with David. He doesn't know either, and he's not a millionaire by any stretch of the means. It's just at a certain point, that's not part of your reality anymore.
You just don't pay attention.
I think you got to have a really capable staff and pay them really well. then again, you might just have them in like a weird bunker that you've built on the edge of the property. And to keep the costs down, you just feed them rice and beans that you airdrop every time you're taking off and flying somewhere else.
Hey, if I'm rich, there are going to be a lot of leftovers.
They're all illegal Mexicans that are there afraid to be deported. They get yelled at by John Travolta every now and again. Yeah, thank you.
Be an interesting day when we have illegal Mexicans in Portugal trying to work.
That would be great. That'd be great.
I mean, it'd be actually good here.
Bruno, while he was fixing up one of the houses, he decided he was going to just try and hire people that needed work. He's like, fuck, I can't find anyone that's willing to come to work. So this guy, look, I'll give you a job. It's like, I'm out of a job. It was this guy that walked up to him on the street, obviously, one night. And he's like, I'm out of a job and I've lost my job and I don't have any money and I'm in a really bad place. And, you know, and Bruno's like, look, okay, fine. Tomorrow I'll pick you up 7 a.m. on the corner over here. I'll pay you this much an hour and you're going to come help me. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. You're amazing. You're incredible. Here's my phone number.
In memory of Bruno.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
It sounds like him.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't smell
Except now
like
it kind of sounds like he's dead. He's alive.
Hello,
Bruno's
I'm
alive.
back.
You're back.
What was that sound?
A fart. We do those now and again, us people.
Okay, it's such a weird fart. I barely recognized it as a fart. Okay, back to your story. Sorry.
I forgot on which point
I
of the
sat down and the
farts are
first thing
better.
I heard
exactly.
was a
As soon as farts came up, I just completely lost track of what I was on about. I mean, it just doesn't seem relevant anymore.
Why would you want to talk about anything else?
Exactly.
Farts are
We're
just
very
better.
mature, aren't we?
Of course.
Clearly.
It's flatus.
Flatus.
Yes.
It's funny how people your age used to run countries and whatever, right? And now this is what we're up to.
Hey, when people my age ran countries, things actually worked and changed. Okay,
Alexander the Great, he was like in his 20s,
look at that.
right?
In
Yeah,
one
yeah,
lifetime,
yeah.
in one lifetime, the borders of his country grew to an empire. Right? In my lifetime, Portugal has shrunk
Yeah, well,
from
Portugal
a
is
turd to a slightly smaller turd. And when I ask why, everybody says things take time. I'm older than
Portugal, they do.
Alexander the Great was before he realized he was gay with his best friend.
I think you realized it early on.
You think so?
I think
Yeah.
they're Greek.
At least in the
There's no
movie.
such thing as
Acceptable.
gay.
It-
But in the
was
movie,
totally
it seems like
acceptable,
it's
so-
only closer to the end, doesn't it?
It's
Or
a
am I not
Hollywood
remembering
movie.
it?
Okay, that's exactly. That's
They
a
were
Hollywood
Greek.
movie.
There was no
You
such
can't
thing as gay.
You can't base the real history of Alexander the Great on
No.
the Colin Farrell Alexander the Great version.
What do you
By
mean?
Jared Leto.
That it said at the beginning of the music.
yeah.
It says at the beginning of the movie it's based on historical events.
And it is.
Yes, so
there
it's-
was a
it's-
guy called Alexander,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are the
yeah.
events they based it on.
I killed an elephant.
That's it.
I saw it.
I think you're not giving the movie the credit that it's due. I mean,
Historical accuracy.
clearly,
Yes.
they were concerned about historical. Did you know that he doesn't actually have blonde hair, for example?
Yes, I am aware.
Alexander the
Great.
As most Greeks don't.
No, but the actor didn't either. See, they just changed that for
Colin
historical accuracy. Yeah,
Yes.
it
of
was
course.
simply for the purpose of historical accuracy.
He clearly looks
He looks
better.
like a surfer dude, Alexander the Great.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird that he would be alive at that time.
Who?
Alexander.
Colin Farrell.
Okay,
No, but see, there you go. You have an empire, right? You have this thing that starts from, or Rome, if you want to take the
Yeah.
legends of Rome, this constantly growing, changing, evolving empire with new technologies being discovered all the time that are massively influencing your life, right?
Yeah.
Sewage is appearing, and water, and roads, and trade. And then you switch
Just
to...
one correction to what you said. The accomplishment was making sewage disappear. Sewage appearing is easy. Making it disappear is the whole challenge that the Romans accomplished.
We seem pretty good at making sewage appear.
Yeah, right.
We've never had any problem with that.
Sorry.
I stand corrected.
Flatus.
Again, back to flatus. And yet, there we go. I've lost it.
No,
We're
you
back on
haven't. Come
farts.
on.
Shit, where was I going with
train
this?
of thought with sewage appearing and
All right, with the Romans, with the empires, right? You've
yeah.
got all these things happening in the blink of an eye, and the destruction of them, right? The disappearance of Rome and all the technology that went with it. And yet, still nowadays, it's like you get a new phone with a bigger screen and more cameras.
well, yes.
That was the
pretty
accomplishment of 2019. That was great.
Yeah, like 4 cameras. I don't even know what the hell
Now
they
we
all
have
do.
4 cameras, but
Yeah.
but you have them. There are 4 of them now.
Truth be told, I was very, very skeptical of those 4 cameras and thought it was all bullshit until I was flying at night.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, the other pilot, had one of these new iPhones with 4 cameras and whatever. So he did something that I always tried to do and could never do, and he did it easily with 1 click. So what he was trying to do is the cockpit is very dimly lit at night, so you can see better outside, right? And outside, what you had was the rising full moon, which would have made a beautiful picture if you were able to somehow focus the cockpit, the switches, all the gauges and stuff, and at the same time what you're seeing out the windscreen. And I was telling him this, and he pulls out this new iPhone with the 4 cameras, which I'm not going to buy because I don't care anyway. But it was pretty impressive.
It has 4 cameras.
I know, but
That's
it
why
managed
it's
to
impressive.
take a picture that was, it was impressive
It's
for a phone.
It's 4 cameras. It's
I
4
know,
pictures
I
put
know.
together to give you 4 times the normal quality that you have with your
But
simpleton
that's the
one
thing, that's the
camera.
thing. It's not just about quality.
No, it's keeping everything in focus.
It's being able to keep focus
yeah.
of a lot more stuff. I mean, that really felt like I can, the situation where you ever tried to take a picture of the full moon with your phone?
I understand it. All I'm saying, I get
A
it.
little
I
white
get it.
dot.
But
Yeah, a
I'm
little
telling
white
you,
dot, exactly.
I can explain perfectly why it works. It's because they have 4 cameras.
I know you're an engineer, right?
Trust me.
I trust you.
If you
It's
take a
the 4
picture with
cameras.
1 camera and you go, this is one. Look at that. How could it get better? And then you take a picture with
More
4
cameras is
cameras,
better.
and if you look at each individual picture that each camera took, maybe you could compare it, right?
I'm not even sure you
but
see
they're
that. You just get
of
the final
course you
product
don't.
of
You're
the-
just getting
yeah.
4 images compressed
Yeah.
from slightly different angles, right? It's as if you had 4 eyeballs. Close one eye. Is this better or worse than opening the other eye? Can't you see things in depth and
2 eyes is usually
right?
better.
Now imagine having another 2 eyes. It's going to be better.
Well,
You're going
He
to
does
see
have a
better.
point.
You have more eyes. Of course you're going to see better.
it'll be tough getting through airport security, though.
Well, you might stand out. But no.
4
But
eyes.
I've heard
Getting
that.
into a nightclub.
I've heard people say that all the time. Hey, 4 eyes. It's a common thing in culture that you'll be fine.
Okay, I believe you. I'm fine. I'm sticking with 2 for now.
Yeah, me too. I'm sticking with 1 on my camera because it's enough.
Doesn't your phone have 2 cameras? Doesn't it have a face?
It does.
Camera,
It has
right?
one camera facing
one
each
front-facing camera.
I will
Exactly.
have you
Humans are
know.
too
You got
retarded
2.
to turn the phone.
Well, turning the phone is dangerous. You could drop it.
Yes.
Right?
See,
want that.
there would be a more impressive phone, an undroppable phone.
Not undroppable,
Look,
just
no,
unbreakable. Just
no,
drop it all you like.
no. 2020 new phone that would blow my mind is a phone that you literally can't drop. Like
Okay.
even if it slips
Listen,
out the wrong
listen.
time, it just hovers there until you pick it up
Pedro's
again.
idea of unbreakable is harder to do, and I think is better. Yours,
I've had an unbreakable phone.
I can solve it right now.
But I have an unbreakable
Get me your phone. Get me some crazy glue, and I guarantee you won't drop it for a while. You will not drop it for a while. You don't even have to have it on your hand. I can just glue it to your butt cheek. It'll be there.
You've got the cat phones. You've had indestructible phones
Yeah,
since
you do.
Nokia's
You do.
3310.
But the problem is people want indestructible and sleek and fancy
No.
and pretty.
You could have them. The people don't want. It doesn't matter. The phones are built so that they'll break, so that you buy new phones.
True.
That's why you don't have an indestructible phone, and the indestructible phones that you do have obviously are slower and worse for some
They are
reason.
crap, yeah.
They're shit.
The only feature they have is they're indestructible.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which honestly should be a given feature by now, seeing as it's 2020 and Steve Jobs came out with the iPhone while he was still alive. If I show my younger brother, Bernardo, a picture of Steve Jobs, he doesn't know who the fuck he is.
But it's a tough market. I think the smartphones, they don't have anywhere else to go to.
Exactly.
The thing is, what is the new feature they're going to, promote right now? What else is it going to do? How many more megapixels can you possibly need?
This is the
point.
point.
4 cameras. There you go. You get the 4 cameras.
But that's just it. We're content as a civilization at this point with 4 cameras when just a couple years ago, historically speaking, right?
Yeah.
They were conquering continents in a lifetime. This man was merging cultures and history and just literally making history.
Yeah, but you see,
in one lifetime.
the world back then,
and we get 4 cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're all like, fuck yeah.
The world back then was dominated by the governments and the monarchs that wanted
as opposed to today
to conquer stuff. No, as opposed to today, what I mean is today it's way more controlled by business interests and companies for whom conquering territory is less important than selling a product.
You learned it during the Second World War. It isn't about the physical territory. It's about the economy. You move the money, you control the world.
Exactly. So I don't think... I mean, this urge that man has always had of conquering territory. I mean, if you get to a certain position in terms of power, which is something I find very interesting because I'm pretty sure, none of us can possibly even imagine or understand what that does to you.
No.
Right?
No.
The power of, imagine you're Putin, imagine you're Trump, imagine you're, the British Queen, right?
I like that one.
She has no power.
Well, but she could if she wanted. She could do... We can get into that later.
She can sway public opinion.
We can get into that later. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. But imagine you're one of these people. A lot of power, and actually power to change the world, right? Power to influence millions, billions, power to change the world. Even if you start out as a great person with wonderful intent and we're going to make this better and whatever, at some point you're going to start thinking about, well, obviously I can't do this great for everyone. For my country to be the best, the others need to be, well, not the best.
So good.
Exactly, right? That's inevitable. So this feeling that has always been a part of humanity, conquering for kings and whoever gets to that position, somehow isn't really there anymore. When is the last time you saw someone trying to conquer territory? I'm not saying the US and other countries don't have the political influence and they're not doing it in another way, like economically, through culture, through all of this stuff. But the old school thing of, my country needs to be bigger. I want more Lebensraum. Call it whatever you want.
Didn't Trump try and buy Greenland?
Yeah, he did.
No, he just suggested it. He didn't try to buy
stunt.
it. Exactly. He suggested it. The Dutch laughed their ass. No, the Danish, sorry. The Danish laughed their asses off and no. But
you're apologizing to the one Dane that's going to listen to this.
Do we even? Well, I do, but do you know any Danes?
Yeah, our aunt is Dutch.
Dogs do not
not
count.
Dane.
Oh shit! I
The
did it
Great
again.
Dane doesn't count.
I just did it again.
He just said not the Dutch.
Yeah, it's complicated, right?
Not really.
No.
Two different countries.
I know it's two different countries, but the
How
problem
did
with the
Holland
Dutch, there you go.
and Denmark end up with Dutch and Danish? Holland is just why isn't it the Hollandaise?
And I'll give you one better. You are calling it by the wrong name.
Or the Hoch.
Holland is not a country.
No,
right?
It's the Netherlands.
The country is the Netherlands. Holland is, as far as I understand, one part of the Netherlands that people have started calling it as the name of the country.
Then why aren't they
That's not even the country.
Netherlands?
Right? Why are they the Netherlanders? Or right? Why are they the Dutch?
Exactly.
I do not know. But it is